AITA for buying lower-grade steaks when my in-laws visit and serving my mom and dad Wagyu. My wife and I live far away from both of our sets of parents. We visit them a couple of times a year and they visit us about the same. My mom and dad love food. They will buy pounds of garlic and leave it in a rice maker for a month to make black garlic. They plan their vacations around amazing restaurants. My in-laws are lovely people, but boiling drumsticks is fancy for them. And they refuse to eat steak that isn't well done. I discovered this the first time I went to their home for dinner. I wasn't even asked how I like my steak. Everyone got a well-done steak. It took me years to convince my wife to try a medium-rare steak. Now she loves them. I bought some beautiful prime steak for them. They came over when we moved in together. I made theirs medium well, and I died a little inside. Her dad took it back to the grill and destroyed them. So now I buy select-grade meat. I've been buying some excellent quality Wagyu for when my parents visit. Not every single time. Maybe once a year. My wife says I'm being an *asshole by not treating both families the same. I don't think I should waste money on great food for them when I know how they will treat it. AITA for making my teen 16M and 14F share a bedroom update. Original. 1JQODR, AITA _ making my teens 16 meters and 14F share I had a chat with my kids after work. I still don't want to put an adult problem onto my kids, so I only gave them a brief overview of the dire financial issues we're having after my husband, their father, passed away. Us downsizing to a one-bedroom apartment was not by choice. I also told them the truth about how I couldn't afford to feed us all and why I didn't eat 2 days of the week. I was afraid of how they would take the news, but it had gone better than I expected. My kids will be coming with me to the food bank next trip to help out. In terms of the rooming situation, both my older kids agreed that they did not want to share a room with my youngest 2F because she frequently wakes up at night and also has accidents. They also don't want to share with me because I get up much earlier than them to work, and it would disrupt their sleep. They would rather share the room with each other while I continue to sleep in the living room with my youngest. My 16M and 14F told me that their friends were saying no kid should ever have to watch their sibling because they didn't create them. They've been told by their friends that it's parentification to be asked to babysit for even an hour, and it is never okay in any circumstance. That was why they kept calling me an asshole when I asked if they could help with childcare so I could get a second job. Now that they know how bad the situation is, my son said he wants to find a part-time job to help contribute. My daughter apologized and said it wasn't that she hated me or her sister. Both my son and daughter said they are willing to help take care of the youngest so I can get a second job. Hopefully, I can find something soon and be able to move to a larger space. AITA for paying for my bio daughter's wedding but not my stepdaughter's because of how she acts and treats me. For context, I, 56M, have been married to my wife Lisa, 57F, for 25 years. We have a daughter together, April, 24F, and Lisa has a daughter, Carly, 33F, with her ex-husband Doug, 60-ish M. Lisa had divorced Doug when Carly was only 6/7 because he had addiction problems and refused to seek treatment for it and essentially couldn't hold down a job or help provide for their family. I met Lisa soon after and we got married and she had full custody of Carly, so they both moved into me house at the time. I have always seen Carly as me own daughter and always wished to be an additional male figure in her life after her own father, but she always saw me as the man who replaced her dad and took them away from him. As someone who came from divorced parents myself, completely understand why she felt this way and respected that she wanted space and boundaries from, so I never pushed anything beyond just a friendship between us and never forced a father-daughter relationship. With this, I always tried my best to show up to her school events with her mom, paid for college, included her in all of my family's gatherings, etc. But once Lisa and I had our first child, April, Carly was extremely resentful of April and thought April was here to replace her the way I replaced her dad and her family. She would often bully April when they were kids and we had to put them both in therapy to finally work things out. Now they're both adults and have their own lives, but Carly continues to take digs at April whenever she has the chance, compares herself to April, talks down to her, etc. And now this is getting to their weddings. April got married last year and I paid for the whole thing as she is my daughter. Carly recently got engaged and I offered to help pay for the wedding, which she gladly accepted, and THE planning was seemingly going well until she showed her mom the guest list and April and I were nowhere to be found. Carly said she didn't feel close enough with April and I to include us in her big day, which I respect and understand. But she's not close enough to me to invite me to her wedding, yet she's okay enough with me to want me to fund the entire event? Thesis: when I told her I won't be paying for it anymore and it's become a huge issue that I'm treating her like she isn't my daughter, showing favoritism to April, it's not fair, etc. I have done nothing but try to build a relationship with her for 25 years, but she clearly doesn't want one except for when I'm financially benefiting her. I didn't mind this when she was a kid because it was my responsibility to provide for her, but I'm just so sick of this now that she's older. AITA for paying for April's wedding but not Carly's?
AITA for invading someone's personal space? Not a serious or life-altering situation. For context, I, 33F, live in the UK. We have quiet sections on trains and I booked my ticket specifically so I could do work on a table in the quiet section on my laptop. My friend Lee, 34F, SAT opposite me. A man, 40s, 50s, was sat next to me and about 15 minutes into the journey, starts watching Friends out loud on his iPad. I put my headphones in but it was loud enough that I could still hear it. My friend and the person sat next to her were just giving him dirty looks, but he was oblivious and munching away on his sandwich. So I said, "Excuse me, would you mind turning that down just a little bit please?" He said no, literally one word, no. Mentioned that it was the quiet section of the train and he laughed at me and said, "Are you gonna tell on me?" It was so bizarre and annoying, but my friend just gestured for me to stay calm and leave it. So I closed my laptop and started watching with him. Andy commenting, "OMG, I love this, watch the next part, it's so funny." Oh, is this the one where X happens? I'm not a massive Friends fan but I know enough to get by. He didn't respond, just kept giving me irritated looks but I kept going. He moved the iPad from the table to his lap, without turning the volume lower at any point. So I just carried on peering over shoulder and commenting. He finally slammed the iPad case shut, grabbed his backpack and walked off, presumably to find another seat on the train. I opened my laptop and carried on working. After we got off, Lee said I should have just left it and not reacted to him, but it was a 4-hour journey and I had a lot to do. I paid extra to get a table seat, Fatu in the quiet section. She said I offered him my headphones, maybe if they wear over ear, but they're in ear and he's a stranger so, no. She said I kind of invaded his personal space. I didn't touch him or move from the confines of my seat at any point and she was like no but watching someone's iPad is an *SS whole move. We're not in a fight, just a light-hearted debate on whether or not I'm here for how I went about it.
AITA for expecting my boyfriend's parents to treat my daughter the same as his daughters? I, 37F, have been dating Martin, 39, for what will be 2 years this June. I have a daughter, Scarlett, 10, and he has 2 daughters, Miley, 13, and Joanna, 12. I am a single mother to Scarlett. Her father ends me maintenance each month but has never been an active parent and has never met Scarlett. I also grew up in care so I have no family or anything, whereas Martin is divorced and shares custody with his ex-wife. Their custody agreement is very flexible with the girls sometimes staying with him or their mum longer or often spending times with both parents together. It really bothered me a lot that he was still good friends with his ex-wife and Martin said if I couldn't handle the fact he could co-parent well and be amicable with his ex then he would end things. I like to think I got over jealousy and that the girl's mother and I get on. Anyway, since we've been dating a while and have started discussing potentially living together, I think it's only really fair that Scarlett is more involved and treated the same as Martin's daughters be his parents. She met them for the first time a few months ago and has since seen them a few times since but she's treated virtually like a stranger. At Christmas, Miley and Joanna were spoilt rotten. They got money, gifts, toys, gift vouchers and makeup. All they got Scarlett was an embroidered blanket thing Martin's mother spent weeks knitting apparently with her name on it, 2 gift vouchers and a doll. They'll take Martin's girls for overnight sleepovers but my kid is excluded. They say they don't know her that well and are uncomfortable looking after her for now. They'll buy Joanna and Miley sweets or little trinkets and give them a couple of pounds here and there every so often Buddhas for Scarlett. they might only give her one thing and that's it. It's not fair for Scarlett. The last straw was when his parents asked if we would all like to go to Disneyland Paris in Easter with them. They offered to pay for Martin, the girls, and said that they could pay for part of mine and Scarlett's travel expenses, but that I'd have to pay the rest. I lost it and told Martin he needs to tell his parents to treat Scarlett like his girls are treated. It's not fair to her that she has to watch her sisters being spoiled and she isn't. Out in return and said my parents have been nothing but accommodating to Scarlett by including her in things and getting her stuff at Christmas and soon. He said I'm incredibly selfish to expect his parents to treat my daughter, who they barely know, as the same as their grandchildren. He said I'm bitter and jealous and it's not like we're married or living together. He used the example, the blanket being a really sweet gift that shows much his mother cares. He also said it perfectly reasonable for his parents to expect me to pay for my own child to go to Disney and that my parents don't need to pay anything at all for us. He also said I'm raising my daughter to not learn the value of the word no and that she can just be expected to get whatever he wants. He also said that Joanna and Miley are not Scarlett's sisters. It's never been emphasized they were, and they do not view Scarlett as that. He said that I need to get your RSE in gear and realize nothing is being done to discriminate against or exclude Scarlett. AITA. ETA. I view Joanna and Miley as bonus daughters, hence why Scarlett calls them her sisters. And Miley do not view me as a mother figure anyway, only as dad's girlfriend. It really hurts, but I don't think I am pushy or anything. I just think of us as a blended family unit, whereas Joanna and Miley have said I am just the woman their dad is dating and Scarlett is nothing to them family-wise. I have tried to get them to involve her whenever they're doing stuff and they outright refuse, so they only, as they put it, tolerate her. Martin hashed me out about this before, claiming I'm trying to insert my daughter in the friendship groups and activities of his daughters, and it greatly upsets Scarlett because she just wants to be included. She doesn't have a lot of friends and he want Joanna and Miley to be her friends. I have no family and Scarlett's father's family aren't involved. I've always tried my best to spoil her myself, but it seems only fair since we're part of Martin's family now that she's treated the same as Joanna and Miley.